entirely, or if we still believe there is a God, we are pretty sure that God has lost track of us. We are always losing something, aren't we, as humans? Losing our sense of direction, losing our energy, losing our temper, losing our youth. And you'd think we'd be comfortable with all this losing by now, but we aren't. And we haven't managed to find most of what has been lost. So we hear those words of Jesus today. Those who find their life will lose it. And those who lose their life for my sake will find it. Maybe Jesus is telling us something like this, that we are always trying not to lose the very things we will need to let go of. And that when we finally let go of them, what we didn't ever want to lose, we will find what matters even more. Hagar's story this morning is a story of finding and losing, complicated finding and losing, and maybe it helps us today. Hagar is a slave woman in Abraham's household, and because of that, she has very little agency. She does not choose to go to Abraham's bed, but is sent there by her mistress. But when she finds herself pregnant and then the mother of Abraham's first ever child, she thinks she has found something. She has found some power, finally, in a world where she had no power at all. But as still a slave, that power is short-lived, because as soon as Isaac is born and then weaned, Sarah will have Hagar out of there, and the child too, because Sarah wants to be sure that there is no potential inheritance competition for Isaac. And so Hagar loses again. She loses the security that even being a slave gives her. She loses a home. She loses everything that she has ever had. And when the water in the skin runs out in the wilderness, she even loses sight of any way to keep her child alive. And so she tries to lose Ishmael too, or at least to lose sight of him. But because what parent can watch the death of their child? But it is at that moment when this former slave seems to have lost everything, Hagar is found. God finds Hagar. God sends an angel with words of comfort and hope. God finds Hagar and sends a well that will allow her and her son water to drink and so live. God finds Hagar and declares this former slave woman worthy to live, and not any longer as a slave, but as the mother of a nation. She also will be blessed by God, because Ishmael, so the story goes, becomes the father many, many centuries later of Muhammad. Hagar becomes the mother of all of Islam, the 2 billion or so Muslims that now live on this earth. Hagar loses everything, but she is found. And sometimes we are like Hagar. We also are lost, or we have lost what matters most. And we, like Hagar, find ourselves wandering around in the wilderness, trying to find direction or a replacement or an answer or simply a way to live. But often we just keep losing. It happened to my friend this week, one of my friends who has lost a lot in the last few years. A job she loved, a marriage, and now just a few days ago, she has lost her father, just a few days before Father's Day. A sudden and sad death that, of course, happens all the time to people. And as many of you know, a father is a big thing to lose. But Hagar's story this morning carries hope for my friend and perhaps for us this morning too. In all our losing, in all our trying to find something to fill the void of that loss, God is the one who finds